So the first key step, and I would say the most important recommendation that could come out of the mineral development strategy, is to update Yukon's mining legislation, the Quartz Mining Act and the Placer Mining Act. You know, there's other legislation that applies to mining, of course, but these are the main ones. And when I say update, what I mean is develop successor legislation. This is modern replacement legislation. It doesn't have to look completely different. It certainly needs an overhaul. Because that's really what it's going to take for these acts to align with, the final agreements, Yukon's modern treaties, the rights of unsettled First Nations, land use planning processes, and other modern government legislation and regulations. And Yukon, seems like Yukon's mining legislation keeps butting up against these rights and governance arrangements, often in a way that doesn't align. And in many cases, we're seeing this play out in the court system. So this just doesn't provide certainty for anyone. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about what specific changes are needed. I think maybe that could come up in the Q&A later. But also because what we can hope for from the mineral development strategy is a recommendation that Yukon government commit to co-creating new mining legislation with First Nations. And we're hoping, and I would even say expecting, that to come out of this strategy. And then actually developing that legislation is something that would happen after the strategy and take a few years. The point is that developing successor legislation provides a modern framework or a modern architecture that can align with Yukon's commitments to things like the final agreements and the rights of unsettled First Nations. But I'd say if there's one recommendation to remember from tonight and to ask for from the mineral development strategy, I would say it's this one.